So today we're going to be talking about this Neewer condenser microphone kit, which I got from Amazon for around 40 Singapore dollars, give or take around 35, 30 US dollars. It's quite cheap. It includes a pop filter, a ball type foam cap, shock mount, table mounting clamp, and of course condenser microphone. So in this specific video, I'm going to be comparing it with my current rig right now. This is my old BM800 series or BM100 series connected to my Focusrite 2i, if I'm not mistaken, 2i2. We're going through that one, but for now, let's do the unboxing, and here it is. I got it from Amazon, so as you can see, it's very well packaged. I already removed it from its original box. Looking at it on their specific sides, there are no dents whatsoever in between, so it looks like it's a very, very, very nice packaging right here. So this is actually the top side, the other side was the bottom part. This is how you open it. It says it's stable, low noise, and portable. All right, this is the code, I guess. Opening it up, boom. So from the packaging, Neewer is always as budget friendly and cheap as possible, but in terms of like the quality, it strives to be up there on the medium to the high end spectrum. So it comes with this specific guide kit, which we will be going through later on. The do's and don'ts, Q&A. It says how to position your microphone, and that's something that we need to be worried about. So how microphones are different in terms of like is it cardioid or is it like basically where it picks up sound. So yeah, this is nice to have. Also, it comes with this customer service in case you want. There is a US number and a UK number. There's also an email ad and a QR code just in case. Yep, a very nice touch. Neewer. This is the pop filter. It's quite, I would say, decently made. The material feels solid. This is metal construction. This one seems to be plastic, but from my preference, I don't usually use this one because it hampers or like it takes a lot more space and it blocks your face. So if you're going with streaming, I don't recommend you doing that one. On top of that one, there is this specific foam which protects the gear. All right, it also comes with this is the clamp, I could tell. It comes with the adapter for where you are going to mount your Neewer, right? It's not really sealed, it's just sealed by a tape right here. Setting that one aside, this is the clamp. The clamp it looks sealed, it's not really, but it's just like stapled here. In terms of like the make, it's pretty decent. I'm going to take it out later and I'm going to compare it to other cheap clamps out there that I got. All right, so we're going to do that one as well. It also comes with this wire. This goes to your microphone. This one is a 3.5 jack that you can plug directly to your PC. If you're using Mac, then this will be something different for you guys. I know that Mac has an updated OS. I'm not sure if the old methods still apply, but worth taking note of that one. I'm using PC currently to test, so that's something to think about. This is the microphone. It's gold. It has Neewer NW800. My gut feel here is that this is just the same as my condenser microphone here. They are priced relatively on the same level. They're just a difference of like $2 to $3 in between. But in terms of like the packaging, if you're going to see, it really looks well made in terms of the packaging. I'm going to show you what the packaging of my old one looks like. My old one basically doesn't have this foam rigging. It is not in any shape, way, or form have been placed in this manner. So the percentile or view or of the item being damaged is higher compared to this one. This is what I can tell, and I could say this one feels pretty solid in terms of like the shape and the actual weight, relatively the same, but we'll see later on. And this is the foam. This is the only thing that I'm worried about usually when receiving this types of cheap or budget microphone, is that the foam cap, they usually don't put much weight on the foam cap, basically because the foam cap is malleable. So that means that it can, say for example this one, there are dents here, you can actually just buff them up and over time it will correct itself because it's full. Right. Setting that one aside, and finally, this is where you mount the microphone. So if you could see here, right here, it's basically identical with what we have. All right. So we're done with the unboxing right here. Let's do a quick comparison from the BM 100 or 800 with the newer 800. All right. Cool. So with that being said, as I mentioned, I kept the box of my old BM 800. This is the box, as you can see. I have already unplugged and unzipped it. I'm just going to show you the difference in terms of like the packaging. If you open this one, compared to the other newer 800, in terms of actual scale, there is a inch difference between my old BM 800 and the newer 800 here. As you can see, the packaging, previously these were just like where the shock mount, the microphone is headed or housed. These are all the plastics where it was kept in orderly fashion. This is the old pop filter that I was using before, and as I mentioned, it is similar to what the newer 800 has for in terms of like the pop filter. This is the newer pop filter, and if I were to, yep, the diameter is the same. However, actually everything is the same. Even the arc here is the same. The only difference is the screw that was used here. It seems like the screw used in the newer one is a bit thinner, and there is a slight, what you call this, dent or a non-screw on this part, but otherwise it's identical. The upside that you get in newer is that the packaging is great. The old one also still has the manual, but unlike newer, it is like the one-pager manual. However, what this one has, the BM800, is this microphone holder, where it's not really the suspended type version. You can use just a simple mic. But to be honest, this is not going to be used on your condenser because this one can't hold a condenser. So it does make sense for newer to forego this one altogether. So as I said, for the old one, the packaging is minimal. The newer one is better in that one. So for me, the winner for this one is newer in terms of packaging. All right, so let's look at the clamp. This is the mount, I mean. Oh, the mount to me feels premium-ish, more than the actual old mounts that I have. Let me get something for comparison. So I pulled up a comparison for the mic mount or the desk mount, whatever we may want to call it. This is one of my older ones, and I bought it for about 15 or 10 Singapore dollars. So it's quite cheap. Compared to this one, I would say that it feels similar. The screws, however, it seems that the screw for the newer is done better. This one, as you can see here, there's a bit of a rusting effect. This one is a bit bigger on the back and side. You can also tell that this one has a better fit in terms of the screw. This one has an overlap on top. So in terms of the wall of the mount, I would say that other than the branding, as you can see here, there are all well capped. Basically, there's no overlap of the actual screw to the washer. And there's a branding here for newer. I gotta say, the strength of the mount feels very, very stable. The screw seems to hold them all in place, and I may be replacing my stable with this one, or my microphone holder with this one. This one definitely is a winner. Although it looks similar, I would say there is difference in the quality. Yeah, definitely. though I might be wrong. This is just an eyeballing of this one. I would have to test this, and just look out for the comment section below. I will be updating my review for this one on a monthly basis, just to make you aware of when the wear and tear is for this wall mount, for this desk mount, I mean. All right, time to compare the clamps. This is for the desk clamp comparison. The left one is the same clamp as being used in my BM800, which is the more generic brand, and we have the Neewer on the right hand side. As you could see on the make here, the BM or the Neewer seems to be thicker. It's hollow in the middle, however, it's not hollow all the way. So that means like about 3/4 of inside there is a support. So I would assume that this is spherical all the way here. But however, that would mean that this is actually all steel supporting this rig here. The reason why I'm pointing that one out is that what I found with the old clamps that I have is that it's weak on its corners here and here. That's because if you remove just this cylinder here, is just a U bracket type of metal composition, and depending on how heavy your mic is and how much pressure you exert here or there to change the angle or change the direction of your microphone, this will bend over time. I have a couple of clamps already that have already been bent over time, so I would wager that from eyeballing, this looks like it won't bend at all. It will remain in this position. So in terms of like design, I would give this to Neewer. Definitely I'm going to be changing my stand with a Neewer stand or Neewer desk mount. In terms of the wire, I don't think I have a comparison for it. I can't seem to find my old wire, but from the looks of it, this is a gold-plated 3.5 jack. It looks sturdy, and I would wager this is just one of your average generic microphone wire. I'm just checking the length here. I would wager the length is about 2 meters, 1.5 meter to 2 meters. Decent enough where you can actually plug this to your sound card and then this one to your mic. Okay. There are no brandings in the middle. It just says high grade low noise microphone cable. Well, in a sense, it looks like there is a Neewer branding because this is their tagline. I just don't know. I'm just trying to find if there is a Neewer wire here. Nope, there's no Neewer. Yep, there's no Neewer here. It's just basically a generic, just saying that the wire is low noise. Well, to be fair, there are wires that are quote unquote noisy, and that's because it's to do with whether or not your wire is grounded. So all right, we're done with the aesthetics comparison between the BM800 and the Neewer 800. So now it's time to compare the actual audio quality. All right, here we go. So for the audio test, I'm going to be testing it with two sound interface. First, I'm going to use this V8 sound card. If you are on a budget, usually this is the first sound card that you will have, and this is one of my near and dear to me because I had this for a couple of months now, and the audio quality is decent. However, the one that you're hearing right now, I've upgraded my audio interface into the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. So there is a slight difference in terms of the quality. However, if you're on a budget, again, we can try this one. So well, let's assume that we're going to be using this, and let me set up that test. All right, so as you can see here, I have two microphones set up in front of me. The gold one is the Neewer microphone, while the silver one is my BM800/100. So I removed the pop filters so that we have the same baseline. I'm using OBS to record everything. Currently, the one that you're hearing right now is the BM800 using the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. I'm now going to transition to the V8 card, and let's see what happens. Let's first try to hear Neewer. Okay. All right, here we are using Neewer 800. and we are using OBS with a little bit of noise suppression here and there. There is a little bit static on the background if I could hear it here. Yep. However, in terms of like the actual output, it's very decent in that regard. I didn't expect it to have so much issues in the beginning because of the way it was packaged. It seems like it's also directional. Let me just try to get more here. How about here? So you could see it only gets a bit more voice here because this is where it gets the median basically, right? Backside, side side, upside, front. So you can see the difference. In terms of the voice quality, I think this is very, very decent. And there's only one way to find out to check whether or not this is basically the same output here and there. My gut feel it is. Although it's kind of like the generic brand, but is better made. If that's something, that's my gut feel here. So let's try and switch it out. All right, I'm now using the BM800. It's also the same. The pattern is straight on the microphone. It's not on top. It's not also on the side. Check, 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 check. Hello. See, the difference is on the middle. In terms of the audio quality, for me, it sounds that they are at par. So let me just rattle off sub sequence of words so you can compare it from point A to point B. All right. So I'm just going to read stuff right here using the BM800. 3, 2, 1. Scenes, intro video, outro, scene intro, scene BRB, main MTGO, scene 2, scene 3, scene 5, scene 6, deck name, main cam, cam 2, cam 3, interview, interviewee, effects, and MTGA. Let me switch to the other side. All right. So now I'm using the Neewer, scenes, video, outro, scene intro, scene BRB, main MTGO, scene 2, scene 3, scene 5, scene 6, deck name, main cam, cam 2, cam 3, interviewer and interviewee, FX and MTGA. So, yep. To me, it doesn't sound too much difference. There's not much difference in between. Now it's time to switch it to the Focusrite Scarlett. So now we're using the BM800/100 attached to the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. So as you know, we're doing budget streaming. However, we need some progression in our streaming. So the way we want to update or upgrade our audio setup is to first upgrade your sound card / your audio interface to make it sound better. So as you can see from my other sound test a while ago compared to now, the voice sounds fuller. It has a bit more bass and it sounds fuller to me, and gives that specific oomph when you're listening. So now let's try to switch it up to the Neewer 800. All right, so now I'm using the Neewer 800 plugged into my Focusrite Scarlett 2i2, and sounds very solid. Let me just bring it up real quick. Hello? Yes. Check 1 2. Sound check 1 2. All right. In terms of like the audio quality, it seems like they are identical between my BM800 and the Neewer 800. The only thing that I would want to say is that it's the make of everything else feels more robust than the newer version. I would say that if that was the intention of the maker of Neewer, then they got it spot on. The audio quality is at par with what we have, and it's scalable if you put in the research to use the correct audio interface. All right, scale it up. As a rundown, is Neewer microphone worth it for $40 with all of the things that comes with it? I would say yes. In terms of like, if you're starting new and if you're trying to find a budget microphone and you're having a hard time selecting through all the plethora of those generic brands, I would recommend you going through the Neewer microphone. Although the BM800 also works if you just want more cheaper than the Neewer microphone. The Neewer 800 actually has a hotline that you can call, and website or those services that you may want to avail of. So if you're looking for that one and you're new and you're afraid to risk it a little bit, for $40 is not really that bad. In terms of like the audio scalability, as I made mention a while ago, it is doable. You can use the V8 sound card, which is roughly about $10 to $20 now in the market. When you're ready to upgrade, try to look for other audio interface. I would recommend Scarlett Focusrite 2i2, or just like the Scarlett Solo. It works very, very much. So I hope you enjoyed this budget streaming content and review. If you have any questions on the model, the make, how much did I got it for, all links are in the description down below. And as I mentioned a while ago, I'll be periodically updating you guys with my journey with the Neewer microphone and its stand. It feels that the stand is very solid, and I will be using this one going forward. Feel free to drop by on my stream if you have any questions. The schedule is right here. And as always, guys, stay safe.